That was one thing you mentioned on one of the interviews, is that you had said you had exhausted for yourself the text and image relationship films through whatever you'd done. Just what was prior to this, Utopia or Desiree? I can't remember which. Forkland. Through those, and so this is what you were trying to do, is just go into just looking at images more. And I was wondering if there's a point, do you think now with you're going to exhaust your image making?
I just finished a film called RR, which is railroad trains around the United States. It's actually 43 different trains in 43 different locations, mountains and rivers and along the coast, deserts, salt fields, and in that I continued this kind of looking and listening, but I brought back some text into the film. I brought back some language over a few of the shots, some maybe slowly going back to what I did before. But it's very minimum. Out of the 43 shots, I think there's 6 or 7 shots that I use text in. And then I'm also finishing a film right now called Casting a Glance, which is a short film, 80-minute film, that's a portrait of Robert Smithsons Spiral Jetty. And that's mainly looking and listening, but I'm using a song in it. So you hear a song as if it's coming from a car radio in the distance.
We have songs over the credits of this trilogy.
Yeah,
as well. I chose those.
In Valley Centro, the song is Virgin of Guadalupe. I don't know who the singer is. I recorded it in a bar in the Central Valley while I was having a cheeseburger. And somebody was playing the jukebox, and it came on, and I had taken my Nagra into the place. And I just turned it on and recorded it and used that. And then so I don't know who this, it's in Spanish. And then in Los is A Little Bit of Love by Victoria Williams, who's a wonderful singer who lives outside of Joshua Tree. So I wanted to use a song. The film got so depressing for me. I think it kind of grinds to this depressing place, and I wanted to end with some hope. And I really love that song, and I think it's really should be our national anthem. That we really do need a little bit of love in this country. And then this last film is it's sung in Navajo and Sioux at the same time. It's Amazing Grace. The Navajo is Johnny Mike, and I can't think of the Sioux singer's name right now, but they're singers in the Peyote Church, American Indian Church. Amazing work. If you search Johnny Mike, you'll find the other guy's name, and I'd highly recommend getting their music. It's really beautiful, very spiritual and soothing kind of stuff. But I wanted to use, especially, well, it started with Valley Centro, so that was the model for the rest of the film, so I didn't want to change from that. But I changed my approach to it. In Valley Centro, it was something that came out of the valley that I actually recorded there. And then in Los, I thought I needed some kind of hope at the end of the film. And then in this film, I wanted to make reference to Native Americans at the end of the film, since they were here first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This may be a really silly question, but there are no nighttime shots. And part of what I think about when I think about Los Angeles is what it looks like at night.
Yeah, see, I hardly ever come to Los Angeles, and hardly ever at night. I'm afraid to come down here. It's dark. Yeah, I don't have many, I don't shoot at night much. It's mainly me rather than, certainly things go on at night. And in a big city, of course, nightlife is really a part of that. But with the Central Valley, I thought it might be possible to map what I felt of the valley into 35 shots. But with Los Angeles, I found that completely impossible. So I called it Los because of that, because it isn't complete, just part of the city. It also, Los is also the term that Chicano gang kids refer to the city as, rather than LA, they call it Los, which I learned from Tom Anderson. I thought, well, I should use that, he's pretty smart. and
Used to be in a gang.
yeah. Beetlejuice gang.
Joy?
I was just wondering, like, what do you how do you feel like your each section grew or changed or evolved while you were working on it? Because, like, my sense was like El Centro felt like something like a grid to me, and Los felt like sort of a strange meandering, and then this piece actually felt really lyrical.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if these sound like ridiculous sort of descriptions, but I was wondering, like,
I'll agree with that. I like that. I actually like what you just said. I mean, I kind of feel the same way. I didn't set out to do that. I think the places themselves brought that on. When you're in the Central Valley, the whole valley is a grid, right? The roads, most of them run north and south and east and west, except for I-5 and 99. They're like this. So if you want to take side roads, you got to go like this. And it takes you 10 times as long, but it's much more fun. But the whole thing is pretty much gridded out. And it's interesting because everything on this side of 99 is poorer. And then in the middle is where most of the corporate farming is, and then kind of cowboy stuff and weird stuff is to the west of 5. And then in the northern part, it starts to change completely. And then there's certain places where certain crops are grown. This is where there's cotton, or cotton's down here, and there's rice grown in the desert up here. So it's all plotted out for, fruit, nuts, all
but
the
Los felt like this strange sort of disconnect in a way.
Yeah, well, see, I have this kind of love-hate relationship with Los Angeles, and I wanted to be that, to show you, even to show you familiar places with a different kind of eye. So if you saw, like, I show you Sunset Boulevard, which is in many, many, many movies, but I use that big NY, what is it, that billboard, yeah, so it's about advertising, and it's off, and it doesn't, you don't think of it. I mean, there's all those billboards on the street, but the way I frame it, it seems much different.
Well, also what was happening outside of the frame with that dog that kept on barking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's always these kind of things pulling your attention away.